Hello everyone, and welcome back to my weekly Premier League predictions. The early game this weekend on Boxing Day is Watford versus Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace sacked their manager Alan Pardew yesterday, and I'm going to rough estimate and say that in the next 3 days they're not going to get a replacement. Normally, I don't know what the percentage of this is, but normally whenever a team gets a new manager in, the manager tends to win, or the team tends to win the first game for that new manager. And at the minute they're talking about Sam Allardyce taking over. As of right now, Crystal Palace are in 17th place and Watford are in 12th. Watford's home form is okay. It's what's keeping them in mid-table. 4 wins, 1 draw, 3 defeats, only a +1 goal difference. Crystal Palace's away form is 2 wins, 2 draws, 4 defeats. I don't know. I think this will be a draw. Palace players will be trying to impress any incoming new manager, and maybe the players have had too much on Christmas Day. So for this first game, I'm going to go for a draw. So next up, the 3 o'clock kickoffs. We have Arsenal versus West Brom. Now, Arsenal have lost their last 2 games in a row. They get beat 2-1 by Everton away and then beat 2-1 by Man City away. But they do have good home form. They lost their first home game of the season to Liverpool, but since then there were 5 wins and 2 draws. West Brom's away form. West Brom are currently 8th. They were on a good run there up until they got beat by Man United last week. Their away form is average. It's not terrible. There's a lot worse in the division. 2 wins, 3 draws, 3 defeats. And in 8 games they've only conceded 8 goals. So they don't concede many goals away from home. In fact, they've conceded far more at home than away from home. But Arsenal do score a lot of goals, and they need to get a win to get back into the title race. They're now 9 points behind Chelsea, and I don't think they can afford any slip-ups over the Christmas period. So for that reason, I think I'm going to go for a home win. Next up, we have Burnley versus Middlesbrough. Right, so Burnley are currently in 16th and Middlesbrough are 14th. So it's really a battle for staying out of the relegation zone for the new year. Burnley are on 17 points and Middlesbrough on 18 points. Burnley's home form is pretty good. Let's see, apart from Bournemouth, in fact Bournemouth's 10th, so Burnley have the most home wins in the bottom half of the table. They've had 5 wins, 1 draw and 3 defeats. I remember they beat Liverpool. It was a shock at the start of the season. Middlesbrough's away form, they do have a lot of draws. In 8 games they've got 1 win, 5 draws, 2 defeats. So Burnley's only had 1 draw at home. I think Burnley will win this just to keep them out of the relegation zone. It'll be a tight game, I'd say. In 8 away games, Middlesbrough's games have only added up to 16 goals, so I wouldn't say it's going to be a 4-3 or 3-3 or anything like that. But I think maybe you'd expect Burnley to nick a 1-0 win. So do that for another home. Next up, we have Chelsea versus Bournemouth, and Chelsea are really pulling away this season. They were so disappointing last year. But on the bright side, they sacked Big Mouth. So Chelsea's home form is 7 wins and 1 defeat. I think that defeat was against Liverpool. I'm not sure. But they're currently 6 points clear. They've got a very healthy goal difference, 24. Bournemouth's away form is poor. 1 win, 2 draws and 5 defeats. In those 8 games they conceded on average 2 goals a game. And Chelsea have 7 wins in 8 games at home, have scored 21. So they've got almost an average of 3. So I think Chelsea will be too strong here for Bournemouth. So I'll go for another home win. Next up we have Leicester versus Everton. Leicester have been very poor this season. Or maybe you could say they're back to normal. Last season was a complete blip. They're currently down in 15th place after winning the league last year. Their home form is okay. It's what's keeping them out of the relegation zone, although they are only 3 points above it. They've got 4 wins, 3 draws and 1 defeat. But they've got a pretty healthy goal difference, so they're good enough at home. Everton are currently 9th, but their away form is not great. 2 wins, 1 draw, 5 defeats. It's almost like I don't want to go for a home win, because it seems as if I'm just picking them all to be home win. But I think this will be a Christmas draw. Leicester, they score on average 2 goals a game at home. And Everton, well, you could say Everton score on average 1 goal away from home. What the hell? Go for another home win. Okay. Next up we have considering that, continuing this, we have Man United versus Sunderland. So David Moyes will be going back to Old Trafford as manager of Sunderland. Man United have been playing well recently, but too many draws at home, which is what's keeping them out from the top 4. They've played 8 home games this season and drawn half of them, and they've only scored 11 goals in those 3 games. But on the bright side, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is bang in form, so you expect them to get the win here. Sunderland are currently 3rd bottom, just a point off Crystal Palace, but Sunderland's away form is pretty terrible. They've got 1 win, 1 draw and 6 defeats, conceding 13 goals in 8 games. So considering Man United can't score goals really, they're not banging them in like they used to, and considering Sunderland have a pretty poor defence and a bad away record, I'll go for a home win, but I wouldn't really expect any more than about a 1-0, maybe a 2-0. Okay, let's see who the next game is, see if it's going to be another home. Swansea versus West Ham. Okay. Next up we have Swansea versus West Ham. Swansea are doing pretty poor this season. I'm sure they shouldn't have sacked Gary Monk. Was that last season or this season? I can't remember. But they're currently 2nd bottom, joint bottom you could say. They're both on 12 points with Hull. They're a home form, 8 games at home, conceded 16 goals. It's a lot for at home. It's the worst defensive home record in the Premiership. So they've 2 wins, 2 draws, 4 defeats. West Ham's away record isn't fantastic. They concede on average 2 goals away from home as well. They've played 1 win, 2 draws, 5 defeats and conceded 17 goals, but they have scored 10. So I think here this match will be pretty even. West Ham will be happy with a point away from home. Their home forms get better of late. But so I think this will be a draw. And then finally on the Saturday we have Hull versus Man City. So Hull currently bottom of the league. They're, let's say, joint bottom with Swansea. This is the Saturday evening, or the Saturday. Is it the Saturday? No, it's Boxing Day, so it's Monday. This is the Monday evening kickoff. So Hull's home forms: 2 wins, 2 draws, 4 defeats, which is, about average for the bottom of the table. But they're conceding an average 2 goals at home. Man City are currently in 3rd. A win would take them up into 2nd because Liverpool don't play until Tuesday. They had a good win last week against Arsenal. So their away form is 6 wins and 2 defeats. They've had no draws so far this season, and I think that will continue. I think this would be a pretty straightforward away win for Man City. And then finally for this batch of fixtures, it's not finally, sorry, it's 2 more. On Tuesday we have, let's see, move this, don't fall over. On Tuesday we have Liverpool versus Stoke. Liverpool have been very good at home this season. Traditionally, Liverpool, in the last few years, their home form has been annoying. What's the word? Well, yes, annoying. Their home form has been inconsistent, and these would be the sort of games where, whenever we want Liverpool to push on, sort of mid-table teams like Stoke and Bournemouth and Watford, they're the sort of teams who Liverpool struggle against. So this season they have 5 wins, 2 draws, and a plus 15 goal difference from 7 games. So they're winning their games on average by about 2 goals. Stoke's away form, it's bang average: 2 draws, 3 defeats. Sorry, 2 wins, 3 draws, 3 defeats, and minus 3 goal difference away from home. So they're not getting whipped. There's no big losses. So I think Mark Hughes has them well marshalled in defence. So I think I'll go for a Liverpool win. Last week was the first time that I didn't pick Liverpool to win, and they won. So should I not scud them by not picking them? Well, no. I think I'll pick Liverpool to win, but I think it'll be a tight game. Maybe a 1-0 or 2-1. So next up, Liverpool getting a clean sheet. Yeah, right. Then finally, for this bunch of fixtures, we have on Wednesday Southampton versus Tottenham. Southampton had a good away win last week at Bournemouth, and they're currently in 7th place, but they're 7th, Spurs are 5th, but there's a 9-point gap and a 16 goal difference gap in between these two. Southampton have had a real problem scoring goals this season. They've had 8 home games and only scored 8 goals, so it's pretty remarkable. They've only been beaten once. Spurs away form, a lot of draws. They've had 2 wins, 4 draws, 2 defeats. Those 8 games they've scored 10 goals. So I think I'll go for a draw here. I think it'll probably be a score draw, but a draw nonetheless. Okay, folks, so there's my projections for this upcoming Boxing Day and Christmas week fixtures. Watford and Crystal Palace, just realised London Derby. The draw: Arsenal West Brom, home; Burnley against Middlesbrough, home; Chelsea against Bournemouth, home; Leicester against Everton, home; Man United against Sunderland, home; Swansea against West Ham, a draw; Hull against Man City, and away; Liverpool versus Stoke, a home; and Southampton versus Tottenham, a draw. Okay, that's all for now. Cheerio, bye.